Good evening. This is Letitia Terrell with PM 692 speaking on the various components of risk management. And while there are a lot of different aspects to risk management, I believe communications management is the most important because we use communications on a daily basis. There is not one aspect of business that you do not use communications. And so to break it down, communications management literally is the controlling of communications so that way it's better utilized and every stakeholder involved is communicated with fairly. The various variables involved in communication are the sender, the receiver, and the message. In order to communicate, the basis is to have a message from one person to another, from the receiver to the sender. And during a team meeting, you want to be aware of these different variables so that way everybody is on the same page and the correct message is being relayed. Controlling the variables helps to help everyone stay focused, especially during team meetings. So during a team meeting, the best way in order to to run a team meeting is to prepare, communicate, facilitate, and wrap up. To prepare is definitely to have everything you need for the meeting. To communicate is to have an agenda so that way you can stay on focus. Facilitate is to stay focused on the tasks on your agenda and not have other things come into play, such as blockers, or anything that can block the receiver from receiving the message properly as intended. And then to wrap up is literally to reiterate the aspects, the important points of the meeting, and then follow up with the next steps. Because whenever you have a meeting, it's obvious in order to communicate what's going on now and then have steps and a plan for what is to come in the future. When you have communication blockers in place during the facilitation time, you want to minimize those because they can cause the project to have non-optimal outcomes, which create rework and wasted resources. And then so to move on, we have methods of communications. So there is no one way in order to have a best way in order to communicate. You have to communicate with your team in order to find out what way works best for individuals, because you have individuals coming together as a team so that way you can actually become a successful team. So come together as a team in order to find out which way works best for everybody, and then choose that way, and then develop a communications plan so that way everybody is on the same page. And while issues should be discussed face to face, there are ways in order to come together to then set up a meeting and then actually discuss issues face to face as a team so that way you can actually get resolution right then or in the process. Praise, to me, honestly, feels as though you should do it in private. So that way, if you have a nervous individual that does not like public displays, they will not be embarrassed that way. And then discipline should also be done in private so that way the person being disciplined will not act out. Thank you, and I will see you all next week.